Hello, everyone. It's me, Anthium. Welcome to Two Tales, and this is a bit of food for thought for you on this nice, overcast, cloudy, dreary day. Um, so I've had some stuff going on, so I want to get a couple of important things out of the way first. First, if you're watching this, dear wife, I disagree that this is not a situation that's not worth talking about. No, this is not me calling you out. It's just um, sometimes you got to throw the punch, and this is me throwing that punch. And I think it's important because people who may not know should know. And second, to my extended group of long distance online friends, you know who you are, and right now you're too many to mention by name. You know who you are. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your encouragement to stay positive. No worries on that. But let's talk about scams again. Only this is a bit more close to home. All right. So for anyone who is catching this and may not know and may not track the channel, my wife is a Navy veteran, right? She is disabled, got injured in the course of her service to the country, and we've had some hard times. It's all good. We made the call recently to seriously look into getting my wife a full service dog, and we did a lot of research, and my wife was very particular, so we decided to custom pick a purebred puppy and have it specially trained to assist her, right? Well, we ran afoul of a scam that I legitimately did not know was out there, and it led me to do some research. So let me give you some background on what I'm talking about, and then tell you what I've recently learned, and then talk about some things that are troubling, and I'm going to end on a high note with a video that's coming very, very soon. So the short version is we reached out to a official breeder who has a long pedigree, whose website is, yeah. Let me say this, okay? After doing some research, and we've already been in touch with law enforcement, we have motions in play. I'm not going to state the name of the breeder and so forth because she is legitimately doing everything she can to protect her business and take all the right steps. So I don't want to disparage or unfortunately drive away business from someone who knows what they're doing. She's as much of a victim in this as we are. So I'm just going to give you the highlights of what has happened. So someone out there, because they've not been pinned down yet, has somehow managed to crack the website, the computer database, whatever, of this specific dog breeder. And emails and so forth that are coming into the website's official email and so forth are somehow being diverted to a third-party account somewhere. So my wife and I's story is we reached out to this breeder, and in a relatively timely manner, about 6 hours or so, we received an email back saying that they didn't actually have any puppies that were currently available. However, someone who had recently bought one of their puppies had made the decision that they couldn't manage it, and they wanted to hopefully get it to a family that was interested, that would provide a loving home and avoid the animal shelters altogether. It's not too strange of a story, right? Raising a dog, especially a purebred dog that has and if you look into it, purebred dogs have distinct personality traits and so forth. And the story that we ultimately got from the couple, because my wife said, "Hey, sure, let's put me in contact with them." So new emails were dispatched back and forth, and the story generally was that this family worked in the medical industry between husband and wife. So they got a dog, and then realized the dog was too much work for how busy they currently were. And as such, they really just wanted to make sure the dog went to a loving home. And we were looking at paying a portion of the price along with shipping for the animal and so forth, because this would have been across state lines. And so we made an initial down payment. It wasn't a small payment, It wasn't astronomically large. It wasn't small. And filled out some paperwork for an adoption contract and that sort of thing. And then things started getting a little weird. So this person in question wanted to use Venmo. I don't know squat about Venmo. I know it runs through the banks. My wife is familiar with it. She had no problem with it. And after the initial payment went through, we got a couple of emails back and forth, and they were like, well, we haven't gotten it, but we think we sent you the wrong email address, which I thought was odd because the email address was first and last name, and the correct email address had the number 55 in it. And I thought that was a little weird, but I'm like, busy people make simple and stupid mistakes. No big deal. And it wasn't until my wife called me, this was yesterday, to tell me that they wanted to change the courier for the dog, and that the new courier they wanted to use to ship the puppy, which we had a picture of the dog, right? So let me clarify. We had a picture sent to us of the dog, and the new courier wanted a temporary special insurance to cover any liabilities and so forth, supposedly refundable, and wanted the dog to undergo a health screening to document that it was healthy when it's shipping, so they can confirm that it was healthy and all. And while it wasn't too far-fetched, it didn't set well with my wife. So she called me and she related this information to me, and I basically said to her, I said, we're not paying for the shipping, because we already paid for the initial shipping and the initial down payment, which was to start the whole process. That's included in the initial price that was agreed upon. However, not to think too heavily about it, because if we were to presume positive intent, right, then they've never done this before. First time for them, and first time for us in making these types of arrangements, and as such, mistakes happen. Right? So, give them the benefit of the doubt. I said, however, call the breeder, let the breeder know that what's going on is making you uncomfortable, and that you wanted basically a character statement on these people. And then once we have that, if something goes afoul, we have emails, we have contact information and so forth. And we'd have legal recourse, right? Cover all the bases. So my wife went to and called the breeder, got voicemail. The voicemail was full, and gambled on the chance that this was a personal business cell phone, and sent a text message, to which the breeder's response was, I don't have any puppies up for adoption. So my wife exchanged a few messages, and ultimately the breeder said, hey, look, I'm on the road. I will call you when I get to my destination. Please tell me you didn't send any money to these people. So let's fast forward a little bit. So the short story is somehow these people have cracked the website. They're diverting emails out. This is a scam that's been going on for a while. And apparently, last time I heard, there's 12 confirmed cases of people being scammed by whoever is messing with this company. Now, the company has taken steps and has taken down their website and ran it through their domain, IT, whatever have you, reestablished the site, and it was good for a little bit, and then the problems came back up again, which means someone has been able to crack back into it. So we've been in touch with the law enforcement agency that's running it. We have a case file for it. Everything actually checks out. I'm frustrated. My wife is very frustrated. But first, let me clarify something. My reason for doing this is because I don't want... This is not a plea for sympathy, and it most certainly is not me saying, hey, we got ripped off money, send us money. All right, so our bank is involved. The fraud paperwork is being filled out and so forth. We have to go through the irritants of security and having our cards canceled and that sort of thing, as the bank make sure that our account is secure and solid. And it takes time to fix that. But in the end, we're not going to be out the money that we're short now. We'll be getting that back. So, it's not a sympathy plea, and I'm not asking for anyone to help us. This is more of a reflection on society and to talk about what I've learned. So after I got this information, which it was frustrating for the first 12 hours because our internet service went out yesterday and was out from about 11 until early this morning, right? So we weren't even able to make solid contact with the law enforcement agency until today, which is why I wasn't doing this earlier. So anyway, so a couple things bother me about this. I lost my train of thought a little bit there, but I know for a fact that there's a few things that bother me about this. Okay, the research, that's where I was at. So I started looking into things. And while I like to say that I stay in touch with what's going on in the country, this was something I was not aware of. So apparently, and the news has lightly covered this, since COVID happened and people started getting locked down, there has been an increase in the number of pet scams and frauds. I can only presume that's because it's an opportunistic situation. People are locked down. They want companionship, they want comfort, and we can't do it with other people. So we get a pet, we have time to raise them. So, especially in the case of my wife, who was not just looking for a pet, but was looking for a service companion to help her with her disabilities and so forth. These are people preying on the needs and the desires of people who are truly hurting in today's times. I find that to be disgusting, as probably the politest word that I can think of. But there's a second thing that actually bothers me about this. Because until we actually had confirmation from the law enforcement agency, and again, I'm speaking the way I am because I want to protect the people that are currently involved and allow the police to do their job and not injure a business that's legitimately hurting because of these unscrupulous actions. I was skeptical because I'm looking at what I know, because I'm not the most tech savvy person. I work in the tech industry. I'm not horribly techie when it comes to ISPs and internet servers and all that sort of thing. But I know enough to know when something doesn't sound right. And for a company to have their emails being diverted to a third-party source and not actually having any notice or receipt of that email coming in originally, and then to have the site taken down, cleaned up by the professionals that actually they pay to service their site, and for the site to go back up and have the same problem just a couple of months or a short time after that. I'm not sure what the actual time window is. For me, that screams that there's an inside person, or there's some sort of tech loophole, or whoever's actually servicing her site has someone illegitimate working for them. And that's my speculation. I have no proof of a specific individual. Do not take it as a type of accusation. That's my speculation based on what I know. But here's what bothers me about it. And even if you don't, setting aside the technical legal issues there, here's what bothers me about this situation. You have a person or a small group of people that are talented enough to read the social times, crack a website security, be smart enough to divert information, and not only convince people of this, which, by the way, the dog's real. It turns out the particular puppy whose picture is being used was actually sold by this breeder 2 years ago, because they keep a record of all the puppies sold and all that sort of thing. So the dog was real too. So, and then on top of that, because of adoption contracts and so forth, it's not just a scam for money. It's also phishing for personal information like names and addresses. When you have this much talent and you spend your time taking money from people and giving them nothing in return, or you spend that time just trying to destroy other people without trying to build something yourself, you're wasting your talents. You're not just wasting your talents. People who are doing this are wasting their talents, and the only thing they're getting from their time is that quick cash grab. And these are the earmarks of a true scam. Misleading people who are operating in good faith to make money quickly and giving nothing in return. I find that extremely troubling. I can only imagine what people have to go through and where their morals must be, to look at a situation where people are needing, that they're desiring of something, capitalizing on that and taking more from them and leaving them with nothing in return. And that's what troubles me. Anyway, so with that being said, to end this on a little bit of a high note, I have a video I've been working on. It's taken me about 2 weeks to put it together, a week and a half or so. It is about the LEDs for the Intellivision Amico. It's done. I just want to do a thumbnail for it. Should be fun. I get a little goofy in it, just for fun. But it's about what it could be used for, what we officially know about it, and the end to say thank you for those that voted on my channel's project. A detailed breakdown of a game I'd love to see come to the Intellivision Amico. That may or may not someday be me. I don't know, bringing it to the system. Maybe, maybe not. But I thought it'd be worth sharing to show how deep, when I say I had an idea, how deeply I think about things. Oh, I forgot something. The research. I got sidetracked. Last thing. So it turns out that not only is this on an upswing during COVID, states with large populations, specifically New York, Pennsylvania, Florida, are the 3 big states that are listed. There's a few more out there. They're the states that are being targeted by this scam. So if you're here at this end of this video and you're looking at getting an animal in these times, make sure you make solid contact, that you're going to an actual shelter directly, that you are talking to an actual business directly. Don't just, even if it sounds legitimate up front, make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. All the best, people, and here's to better times coming. Take care of yourselves. Two Tails out.